Welcome back to another Overwatch Coach VOD review. So today we're going to take a look at a Mercy. This is going to be our Mercy. And they write, I just started Overwatch recently, did my quick play wins and jumped into competitive. The game is really fun. This game was at Bronze 1, placed Bronze 5. I played a lot of Medic in TF2, so I gravitated towards Mercy and been playing her a lot. I really like her movement and being able to save a lot of people. I have posted an example, I think, of a close... I'm not going to say what if it's a win or a loss, but it'll be close. This game, I felt like I was doing pretty well staying safe when the team haven't engaged yet, but as soon as enemies get on top of us, I don't feel as good thinking on the fly or where to be and kind of fall into a habit of just super jumping. A few embarrassing deaths where I don't have the enemy coming behind me, where I don't see the enemy coming behind me. I also miss healing when my allies are low HP. In addition, I felt like I often had to be helping my tank with staying alive rather than being able to DPS boost. I think I do have a lot of mistakes I could be working on, but I'm interested in hearing more experienced folks and other aspects I haven't caught. All right, so let's dig into it here. So looking at the team comp, Mercy Ana is fairly common. It's either Mercy Ana or Kiriko Mercy or Kiriko Ana. That's usually the three. Those are the combinations you want to see at support most of the time. So I like the Mercy, and you're already pocketing the correct DPS. Although I would say pocketing Widow just to start for the quick headshots wouldn't be a bad choice. And then swapping over to the Pharah once the fight kind of gets going a little bit more and they're starting to play behind the Rhine shield and that kind of a thing. Because the Rhine might not have his shield up and might not be on guard for that initial shot or two the Widow throws out. But you're in Bronze and it's a Bronze Widow, so who knows what happens there anyway. But you have good choices to pocket. 1 and 2. Either one of these are worth pocketing, and I wouldn't be angry at or harsh on you for pocketing either one. Now, if one is performing more than the other, then that's the one you ultimately go to. If the Widow's popping off, you pocket the Widow. If Widow's kind of just body shotting or getting blocked by shields, but they're not running a bunch of hit scan, and in this case, they've only got a Soldier. Soldier will struggle at killing Pharah with a Mercy pocket. So Pharah might be a little bit more on the safer side. And might also be able to carry this game a bit too once the Rhine gets beat up a little bit. So either one, in terms of before we even delve into this, either one is a fine pocket at the moment, and then it'll just kind of be how the game plays out. In terms of other supports that I would suggest, there's only really one that I would recommend, and that would be Kiriko for their Ana, just to try to cleanse out the antis. But I'm totally fine with Mercy here, just as long as the antis don't start staying a problem. If it does, that might dictate needing a Kiriko instead of a Mercy. But, like I said, you've got plenty of options for pocketing, so I think it can totally work. So, typically in this scenario, since you're in Bronze and you're new, just to break this down, the Ana should be mostly left to deal with healing the tank. You pocket the DPS and you peel for the Ana. Ana peels for you and focuses on the tank. That's typically how this breaks down. I'm not saying Mercy doesn't heal tanks. She definitely can and should at particular times, but your responsibility primarily is to enable the DPS to be as aggressive or as strong, as capable as the hero they chose can be. Now that goes for the Hanzos, the Pharahs, the Echoes, the Widows, the Sniper Sojourns. The Sniper, the one-shot kill characters, The range characters, Junkrat kind of falls into that category now as well because he's pretty strong and he's pretty close to a one-tap character as well. But those are the kind of heroes I would be looking for pockets on. Ashe kind of falls into that category. A pocketed Ashe can be pretty deadly. Those kind of heroes. So that's why I say you've got plenty of options here. So let's dig into this and see what we get.
Attackers incoming. Actuating the barrier. Stop the payload. Stay away of your meat.
So like I said at the beginning, you might want to just be damage boosting the Widow for the first few shots. Now that you already saw the Widow got a pick. Okay, now Pharah got a pick. So, but you do need to heal your Widow. And your Ana died. When did... What killed her? I didn't even notice. Widow basically got one tap by the Junkrat, and that's what we were saying before. Junkrat is another one that Mercy being pocketed and damage boosting can be very strong. So yeah, there was nothing to do in terms of reaction for the Ana. She just melted. However, your Widow's low. And your Pharah is at 100% health and you're not damage boosting. So you should go back to the Widow, top them off, and then either return to the Pharah or stay on the Widow, depending on who you're trying to pocket, which it looks like it's going to be Pharah, which is fine. But when they're full health like this, damage boost. And then right there is the perfect opportunity to be healing your Widow so that she can go back on the aggression rather than hiding and looking for off-angle shots. And now she's not able to really do much because she's pretty fragile of a character as it is. Your Widow's going to be a little bit harder to kill and take out. And they're not that hurt at the moment, so heal the Widow first, then go back to your Pharah. And frankly, your Sigma's going to need a little healing too. So really just kind of, 1, 2, 3, and just kind of tap the beam on all of them. And you're in perfect position to do it. You're just not doing it.
Clearly, the sky is not the limit.
And I should say too, I don't know why I missed this. But another thing you could do, fly to your Widow, and if you stand like right here on the edge, maybe you have to get like a little closer, but as close to the edge as you can. You probably could have just rezzed that Ana. That Ana actually looks like a fairly safe res. The only thing that would really prevent that res from happening is if that Lucio wall rode up here and then bypassed the Widow and then booped you. And I don't see a bronze Lucio doing that. Although there are a lot of Smurfs in bronze. But I think you missed a good res opportunity there. And I actually almost missed that. But yeah. Because like even there, if you would have just kind of flew over to it and then kind of got to the edge, you probably could have brought that Ana back pretty safely. So yeah, that Sigma did not get any healing from you whatsoever. There's really no excuse for that. That Sigma should have gotten at least a little bit of healing there. So at this point, just hide behind the sign, pocket the Widow, try to get the Pharah to kind of play up by you guys so that you can kind of keep them both going at the same time, just kind of flipping the beam between them. Usually that requires talking on a microphone. Not everybody likes to do that, but highly recommend being comfortable talking on a mic and communicating with your team in a competitive shooter. And your Widow seems like a pretty... Oh, they just died. This Junkrat is getting some pretty strong value. They're getting some pretty interesting picks. They pretty much wiped out the Widow before you could react to it and the Ana. So it's something to keep an eye on. But I'm noticing your Widow is getting picks. So... Your Pharah is too, though, but the point I'm trying to make is I wouldn't be ignoring this Widow too much in terms of pocketing as a Mercy here. Okay, you got a little value on the damage boost with the Sigma. Your Pharah is grounded for some reason. If you're a good Pharah player, you don't spend much time on the ground, and so that's a little concerning to see. Like, if I were playing Mercy and I saw that, I would start judging this far a little bit. In terms of if they're worth pocketing or not versus the Widow. But I can be judgmental sometimes. But yeah, like seeing them basically land back on the ground again there, that's concerning because that's really close to the Reinhardt. If they wanted to land somewhere, they should be landing on top of the roof of that gas station. However, okay, get to your Widow. Your Widow needs heals. Your Widow needs heals, and then to add to that, the cart needed to be contested. So, okay, so you pretend I'm you for a second. I pop this, I fly up. That Widow instantly gets healed because, you know, I would look at him beam him. And then I'd fly over here and I would hover about, I'd probably go here just to assess the situation. And then, meanwhile, while I'm doing this, I'd have my heal beam on the Pharah, mind you. But I'd fly over here, assess the situation on if I could fly right above the point or not. I can't because that Ana would melt me. So then I would contest the cart about right here. And then maybe even fly up just a little bit if I have to get away from the Lucio or something. But if the Lucio tries to get aggressive with me, then I start flying over here. I don't trust a bronze team to contest the cart. I barely trust Diamond and Masters teams to contest carts these days. So if I'm Mercy and I'm ulting, I'm hard to hit. I'm in a bronze game, so aim of a lot of the people in these lobbies probably aren't going to be that great. I'm looking for any angle I can to contest this cart, and then once I'm on it, then I'm just paying attention to keeping a swivel, like keeping my head on a swivel, looking around who needs healing. My beam would have been on fire the whole time once I topped the Widow off and flew over here. And then after I've been contesting, the other thing you could do is you could pull your pistol out and take that Ana out. That Ana doesn't actually really require all that much space to be respected of because they're so low. So you could pull your pistol out as an ulting Mercy and just fly over here, get in her face, 2 shots will take her out. And then, frankly, at that point, it's just Lucio. So then you could keep your pistol out, really, and just try to gun down the Lucio. And then at that point, it's a whole team against a Reinhardt. And guess what? They probably don't cap the point here then. So that's what I would have been doing with this ultimate as opposed to this. This doesn't really, like, you see what I'm talking about? Like what I would have done versus what you did here? Like what you did with this ultimate, it didn't do anything. Like it was a non-factor. And it almost seems like your team doesn't even realize that they took the point, because right now, because they took the point, you guys are way too far forward. Their spawn is right there. And you guys are playing right in front of it. So the second they get any kind of a pick, you guys are at a huge disadvantage. So at this point, you guys need to be moving back through that door and trying to hold that choke so that they struggle to get through that little tunnel gateway area.
No one can hide.
It seems like your Pharah kind of wants to do that, but the rest of your team is just super far forward. It really honestly feels like your team has not acknowledged the fact that they lost the point up until right now. So right there, you needed to get the healing beam on Ana. Don't worry about a tank being 100%. Don't worry about that. Your Ana needs heals. Your Ana's squishy. She can only take 2 shots. This guy here could probably take like 4 shots before he's in trouble. Top the Ana off, and then get back to the Sigma. And then if you start healing Ana and the Rhine just starts focusing on hitting your Ana, then you keep the healing beam on her, and then the Sigma doesn't need heals anyway. Don't be one of those supports that feels the need that your tank has to be at 100% health before anybody else gets heals. Don't do that. A lot of low-level supports will do that in this game. So I'm fine with damage boosting Sigma here. Sigma's not a terrible character to be damage boosting, and right now you don't really have much else of a choice anyway. However, I would be, yeah, you guys need to be falling back though. Like, damage boost him while you're getting out. Yeah, get behind the Sigma, not in front of him. Stay on Sigma here. Because he's still being pressured and he's playing a little too far forward. Okay, now that he's been nanoed and the Ana is back, now you get onto the Bastion or the Widow and pocket them now. Now you relinquish Sigma to your Ana. And I don't know why you're moving up by yourself. You're currently frontlining, even though you're kind of on a high ground and not totally like in line of sight of them. But watch your positioning here. You should be playing behind your Sigma, probably even behind your Bastion right now, like basically where the Ana is. Even though I'd kind of like to see the Ana where you are and you where the Ana is, frankly. So right in this situation, it's fine to throw a little healing toward the Sigma. Think of it as just a way to help build your ult charge a little bit faster, because Ana doesn't... Well, I mean, Ana needs it, but you're closer to your ult than the Ana is because she just used it. So at this point, you need to be thinking about, okay, I need to start building ult charge, so just take every little bit of healing available to you. Don't be afraid to pull out the pistol, take a few pot shots, because that's something I haven't seen from your game at all so far. And if you watch other VOD reviews I've done of different Mercies, and there's plenty of them out there right now that I've VOD reviewed, I always advocate pulling the pistol out a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit here and there, and taking a few pot shots, because when you do play Mercy, you do create a bit of an issue with team damage, because Mercy doesn't output a ton of it unless you're getting really good damage boosts. But on an average round, in terms of scoreboard stats, good job staying out of harm's way of the tire. But in terms of scoreboard stats, I usually try to aim for about 1k to 1.3k worth of damage boost. Because if you're playing support, you need to heal your Ana here. So you're too focused on healing your Sigma right now. Your Ana needed healing. I think she used her nade, or maybe the self-heal came into play, but that was somebody you needed to peel for. Your Widowmaker really needs heals. Your Ana's alive. Let her deal with healing the Sigma. You're a little too pocketed on him right now. Let's actually go back a little bit here, just because I was kind of talking about different points while this fight was going on. So you get a res on the Ana, which is good, because you haven't really been getting reses off. If you're not landing reses on Mercy, you got to start questioning if Mercy's the right pick in a game. So it's good to see you finally got a res off. It's a little on the dangerous side, because that Cassidy, if he's got his nade, he's an easy death target. You know, you die from him pretty easily if he had it. I'm guessing he used it on the Ana though. So anyway, you get the Ana resed, which is good. Now you should frankly stay with the Ana, falling back behind your Sigma. But the reason you stay with the Ana is because right now she's in a bad spot, bad positioning wise. So you two should basically be healing each other to getting into better positioning. So you stay on the Ana, you fly back. But see, you still needed to stay on her. Stay on the Ana. Sorry, my mouth is getting kind of dry. But you stay on the Ana. Ana keeps you going. And then you both get to the spot you're at now. And then you focus on healing the Sigma. Because again, Sigma doesn't have to be 100% health here. When he's at like 80%, he's fine to take a few shots. And now that he's flying up in the air, he's kind of safe. Your Ana, not so much. You're very hyper focused on making sure your Sigma's at 100% health, and it just doesn't need to be the case. So in this situation here, your Sigma's overextending, your Ana's in a bad spot. So yeah, okay, there you go. You fly back. Now you got to get to the Widowmaker. So what you need to do here is to tell Widow in chat, I can't see you, come to the edge. And then they come to the edge, you fly to them, and then you heal them. Because right now, all of that, what you just did there was a complete waste of time. You got no value out of that positioning. I know what you were trying to do, but you ended up just wasting your time. And now look what's going on. Your front line is all at 1 HP. You can't save any of it. And they're both going to die. And you're trying to save them in a spot where you can't. And now that makes you overextending. Yeah, at that point, nothing you can do there. But what should have happened is you should have stayed with the Widowmaker, and if you calmed in chat and told them come to the edge, that Widow would have still been going, and you would have been safe up on the high ground with her. So now we're Mercy Lucio. This is a terrible healing comp. The reason why it's terrible, and I've won many games doing this, mainly on the Lucio side of things. Lucio's got to be playing with the team, keeping mainly on heal song. Lucio's primary value to the team is speed, and it puts the tank in a rough spot because Lucio by himself can't heal Sigma, and then that means if the Mercy's got a peel to help heal the Sigma, now she's not doing what she's supposed to be doing, which is pocketing the DPS, and it just turns into a pitfall. And that's why it is commonly said Mercy Lucio is not a good healing support comp. And I'm not saying it can't work, but it puts a lot of different characters doing things that don't make them excel. Just stay on that high ground. Also shoot that Junkrat bomb. No reason not to just shoot that and destroy it.
Damage intensified.
Heal your sim. Honestly, right here, depending on the positioning of your teammates, pocketing the sim might be the better play here. Widow doesn't really have very good angles. Oh, terrible ult. Why would you ult there? No, 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 no. Why ult? Your whole team is dead besides the Widowmaker. Why ult this? Save Mercy ult for when team fights are either being initiated or when their team is pushing in as a full group and your team is all in a full group. This is not when to use Mercy ult at all. Even if you didn't die there, this would have been a terrible ult. Yeah, we gotta focus a little bit more on resing, because this is only your second res, and this is just right out of spawn. I don't think we've been talking about that enough. Maybe on the next round we'll try to focus on reses you've missed. I mean, we talked about it once, but I feel like we might have to talk about that a little bit more, because I'm not really seeing you get much for resing off here. I would be pocketing your sim a little bit more. This is starting to turn into a brawly part of the map. Now, if you do see your Widow up here, this would be the caveat to what I just said, but if you do see your Widow up here, I would be playing up here as Mercy and then going between both of them. So staying like in this vicinity, or even so much as over here, damage boosting both the Widow and the sim, because I feel like sim can really excel in this tight area here. between sentries and just powering up her beam. She's got a shield to burn down with Ramatra, and Sim having her wall is really the only counter you guys have to Ramatra ult at the moment. And also keeping the Sim beam at full blast is like the only thing you guys have going for you at the moment. And I don't advocate that as being a hard counter to Ramatra ult. I'm just saying it's like the only thing you guys have going for you. What I would like to see now that they're Ramatra would be a DPS swap to a character that can basically one-tap a tank. The two characters that come to mind would be Cassidy's High Noon, although that one takes a long time to charge up, and then Junkrat for Junkrat Tire. Okay, so you get a res off there. The second you get that res off, this is a dangerous res, by the way, just because that Ana could have easily slept and killed you. But yeah, as soon as you get that res off, fly to your Widow and then just get back to high ground. Lucio's got high mobility. He can get up there by himself without any issue, but that's the move here, not pulling your pistol out. Get to your Widow. Heal your Sigma. Tell your Sigma to just fall back a bit and then just, yeah, you gotta pocket the Sigma here. So one thing I'll say is, now you played a pretty decent position here, but in higher level games, when you do start climbing, the people playing Junkrat will usually use those tires to try to kill supports. Now, your beam was going through all of that. That beam is a target. It tells the Junkrat, I see a Mercy beam. Where's the Mercy? And then it'll go for you instead of the Sigma. So just be careful when you're playing Mercy on times when not to beam and to try to be a little bit more on the stealthy side. Oh, what? They C9'd? Wait, what? How is the Ana not touching that? Hold on, what is happening here?
One more kill. 10 seconds.
A sniper is nearby. Take cover.
She's not touching. I think, did the Ana think she was touching and they weren't? Wow. Okay, so if anybody doesn't know what a C9 is, C9 is a, it was a Overwatch League team. I think it was one of the like lower tier, not Overwatch League, but one of the contender teams, I think. And they won a big team fight. Like they actually had team wiped the enemy team, but they weren't touching the cart in a situation just kind of like this. And then they ended up losing the game because they weren't playing the objective. That's exactly what this is. And that is hilarious. And then forever the term was coined as a C9.
Score 0-2.
That's insane though. That Ana was like, that Ana had to have been like right on the cusp of being able to, like if she even just taps the W key just for like a quarter of a second, that cart would have been moving and they probably capped the whole way. It's hilarious. Alright, so looking at team comp here, again, both great Mercy pockets. let the Moira heal the Sigma. Moira is a little bit better of a healer for the Sigma potentially at this level of gameplay. Ana's not the easiest hero to play. This, and considering we're in bronze, Moira might be better here, just because of the bronze thing. But you've got plenty of good options for pocketing again, so you're in Mercy Paradise. And I'm not really seeing people being anti'd either, so the Kiriko suggestion I gave wasn't needed. Mercy's been fine here. It's just, you know, getting value out of your ult a little bit more. I do need to see you getting better reses though. You only got what was it, 3 I think reses in the first round. That number, you'd like to see that number a little higher, but some of that's reliant on where your team's dying. But then, you know, because if they're not safe reses, then don't just do them for the sake of trying to get it off and then you end up dying. Maybe you get the res off, but then you end up dying. Like, that's not worth it either. But we definitely know you missed at least one easy res attempt. I'm going to try to focus a little bit more on that on this one. So, okay, here you're getting a res. Good. Good res. Top your Ashe off. You missed topping the Ashe off. You want to keep your squishies topped off. Those are the ones you want to be a little bit on the hyper-focus side of making sure they're at 100%, not necessarily the tanks. Again, once a tank is pretty much at where they're at there, they can take a few shots and don't need to be healed over other characters. But, you know, if your Ashe is just missing a bar, get that topped off, because it doesn't take much to kill 250 and below hero, especially when they're a little on the damage side. Yeah, again, just keep the Moira topped off before you get on the Pharah, who's overextended anyway. Don't overextend if your team is overextended. Like, it's not worth feeding that. And right now you're not doing anything. And you could have healed your Moira throughout all of that, and your Moira's just now finally healed. So, okay, yeah, now you're moving back to Ashe. Good. Heal your Moira, heal your Moira. Throw a little healing beam on the Sigma too, just kind of bounce it around a little bit. Just think of it this way. Your Moira's does not have infinite left click spray ability. She's got to take some time off to right click, throw a damage orb, try to rebuild her healing juice. So when you are playing with a Moira, move the healing beam around just a little bit, but with the mindset that you're relinquishing some of the pressure for the Moira to get some of her heal charge back. So right here, I actually would consider popping Mercy ult, and then trying to get everybody to play around that Sigma and trying to push your front line forward. Maybe like right around here. Yeah, now I wouldn't, but yeah, this I would not be doing. Wait for the Pharah to come back. Just heal people until the Pharah is back, and then do this as a team. Because right now you're basically doing it. The front line's a 2 versus 5. The Ashe needed to be healed, so now that the Ashe got healed, she'll return to the fray. So now it's like a 4 versus 5. But your Mercy ult isn't really doing anything to help that here. And also your tank needs heals desperately. And that got missed. Top off your Ashe. Top off your Ashe. Okay, I'm good with the res. That's a good res. I like that. Don't be afraid, too, to pocket Bob. If you see the Bob shooting and he's not getting stunned or slept or anything like that, damage boosting Bob is totally fine, because whatever he's shooting at, he's hitting. If it's a shield, if it's a character, whatever. Bob can be a good pocket. He's not always a good pocket, but he can be. Oof. So, yeah, you're moving forward into the tire there. Play back and give your team a chance to actually shoot that tire. But the caveat to that is at least that tire only took you out versus like, let's say everybody on the car, because they were pretty clumped up there. That tire could have easily killed like 2 or 3. So sometimes it's worth just being the sacrificial lamb so the rest of your team doesn't die, but yeah, don't get off your Farah. I know you weren't trying to, but gotta make sure you stay with her. Like, you can just be standing on top of this rooftop and without even flying and pocketing this far. It'd actually probably make things a little easier for you. Like, if you just land here, keep your healing beam on Farah, but then also kind of look around a little bit more. Show you what I'm talking about. Like, say for example, you just land here, healing beam stays on Farah, but while it's on Farah, you kind of look around. And then you kind of move the beam around because your Ashe needs healing and he also needs help. So imagine, you know, healing beam's here. Oh, Ashe needs it. You heal the Ashe. And maybe that Ashe isn't dead yet, but now she is. That Ashe doesn't die there if you do what I'm talking about. You just got to get out at that point. You could have prevented that Ashe from dying the way that they died, though, by just kind of landing on top of that rooftop and then just kind of looking around more. You know, I just had a thought. Are you playing with your Mercy settings set to that you have to hold left or right click for the beam to come out? If you are, there is, I don't remember what the setting is called off the top of my head, but if you go into the game, hit escape, go to options, and go to the character controls, and go to Mercy specifically, there are some specific Mercy controls similar to Anna having nano confirm. That's something you have to turn on. I don't remember what the default is for Mercy, if you have to turn that setting on or if it's on by default, but I think you have to turn that one on. But there's a setting so that you don't have to hold the button down for the beam to stay out. And I'm wondering if you... No, I don't think you are. Okay, never mind. Because that beam would have went off of... Yeah, pocketing Sim here I think could be a good idea. Your front line seems to be a little on the weak side, and a pocketed Sim can strengthen a weaker front line. Right now, because it's more of a ranged fight, pocket the Ashe, and then once you see that Sim beaming away on whatever their front line is, going to the Sim, I think would be advantageous here.
What is that melody?
Yeah, so this very easily could have been a bad ult. So this circle, anything in that circle, up, down, doesn't matter. If you're in that circle, you're in its damage radius. You can't fly out of it. So what you got to do is get out any way you can. But Mercy ulting does not accomplish that by flying up. That's why that ult could have been disastrous, because you easily could have died to this ult. And then if you're dead right here, and mind you, you're at 21 HP, you could still easily die. And then all of a sudden you wasted another ultimate like you did at the third point. But you're in a bronze game and the enemy's not even shooting at you, so, you know, these are the bad habits the lower tiers can sometimes perpetuate. So the only thing there is maybe heal Bob instead of damage boosting him because of how low he is, just to try to prolong his existence. And then also that would have been a good opportunity to be playing high up into the air as opposed to kind of slightly off of the air. You also got to be conscientious of Junkrat tires and not being clumped up with people, so that this doesn't happen. And this is why Junkrat is one of the stronger DPS characters in the game. That tire ultimate, if you can get good value off of it, it's a very oppressive ultimate. Especially in these ranks, but in a lot of ranks. Okay, good res. Ping the Hanzo. That Hanzo should have been pinged to get their attention on him. I would have liked to have seen that. Also ping their tank. One thing I like to see out of support players is pinging. It's a way of shot calling, like go for this target, go for that target kind of a thing. Like they're out of position, shoot for them. Hey, the Widowmaker, they're over there, be careful kind of thing, you know. Pinging targets like that can be helpful for your DPS to maybe, or your other support, to, you know, watch where they're standing or know where somebody is that they need to counter, that kind of thing. So play on the inside, play along here so that high ground characters up there can't see you. When you're playing out like that, they can just look down and shoot you. So right here, honestly, just be playing, play like right there. Just, you know, hide in that room, poke out enough just to keep the beam going, and then fall back to the room. And then, because if you can go in and out of that room, that gives you space to do stuff. And then that Ashe gets healed, the Moira gets healed, you could be pocketing the Sim, and you could be doing it from relative safety. And then when the soldier flips around to the other side, you just come out and go over there, or you could fly over here, and then you're away from the soldier again. Okay, so this ultimate I like, just because, okay, it's a team fight, it's initiating, there's going to be a lot of damage coming in, and if it ends up being the opposite, then you can just damage boost and everybody's getting that. I don't think I'd pull your pistol out here, though. But yeah, get your healing beam on the Sigma, and once they start standing around the Sigma, they'll get the beam to them too. Right now they're really pressuring the Sigma, so just keep him going. Yeah, this Junkrat is... This is honestly a Junkrat diff, is what I'm seeing. This Junkrat is just getting bombs left and right, and he's getting multiple picks on almost all of them. Things you could do to try to counteract a Junkrat that's being oppressive like this is playing Baptiste. You could lamp when the bomb comes out. The other thing you could do, this one requires practice and good timing, and it can oftentimes not work in your favor because that tire, I think its lifespan is too long. Like the timer for it to exist is too long. But if you can time the Junkrat tire with a Lucio ult, the Lucio ult will eat it, but you got to time it so that you're ulting like basically right as the tire is coming in and about to blow up. Because like if you just beat drop when you hear the Junkrat voice line, he can wait out a lot of that ultimate and then come out with the tire and blow up the team. So that one takes practice, but it can be done. Mercy doesn't do anything for Junkrat, oppressive enemy Junkrats in a case like this outside of getting a res off. If he gets like 1 or 2 kills, then you can kind of, you know, get one of them back or something. But this game hasn't really kept most of that available to you guys. You know, Moira's not terrible against oppressive Junkrats just because she can teleport out of the Junkrat tire, but that's only good for her. So
10 seconds remaining.
but yeah, having like a Baptiste I think would be pretty advantageous here. You could try to time it with Kiriko and her E ability, but I feel like that's asking a lot too. But you could theoretically do it. It's not out of the realm of impossibility. But yeah, this Junkrat is he's carrying for Team 2 here. Might be a Smurf, maybe. I don't know.
Healthy body, healthy mind.
And that's it. So yeah. So number 1, move beam around more. You're a little too hard pocketed on different characters when you could kind of be bouncing the beam around a little bit more. 2, alt usage. We've talked about that as it was happening. 3, pistol a bit, but don't overdo this one. But don't be afraid to pull your pistol out, take out like that Junkrat mine we saw that nobody was paying attention to. If you see a Junkrat trap and everybody's kind of healed up and you know they're not taking much damage at the moment, don't be afraid to pull your pistol out, take out the trap. You know, if you're participating in a team fight and it's, you know, let's just say 4 on 2 and everybody's pretty much filled up on health or, you know, mostly, don't be afraid to pull your pistol out, take a couple pot shots off, because if you're playing Mercy, your team's going to struggle on the damage factor a bit. And then also, I just wanted to reiterate on the damage beam, try to shoot for at least 1k damage, as long as the round isn't short, mind you. But, you know, this game here would have been a good example of that, having at least 1k damage boosted each round. Because if you're not doing that, your team's not getting a lot of damage out of you. And if it feels like a damage issue, it might be because of your hero choice. So just throwing that out there. And then 4, head on swivel. Look around a little bit more as you're flying in the air. Pay a little bit more attention to what's going on around you. Don't be so hard focused on one target. Don't get stuck on that target. Keep an eye on just everything around you. And boy, that does not look like an E. There, that looks a little better. But yeah, those are the 4 points I got for you for your Mercy. I hope that was helpful, and thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.